Is the new Deep Dark Cave biome somehow connected to the end realm of Minecraft's lore? Does it have a portal hidden within it? Now that Minecraft 1.18 is out, speculation can begin on just how wild the wild update will be, and we can go beyond these beautiful lush caves and dive into what might be a more treacherous Deep Dark. And these might sound like silly questions because how could it connect to the end? The Warden is not an Enderman, and it doesn't have the same black and purple aesthetic that various end species do. It's also pretty clear that none of the Deep Dark cities are designed after the Stronghold, making them likely disconnected civilizations in terms of the lore. It doesn't have any of the connecting blocks to the surface world stone brick civilization, the ones like chiseled stone brick or cracked and mossy stone brick. The Deep Dark is certainly its own new thing coming to Minecraft. But what if I told you that there's some pretty solid evidence that there's more to this scary skulking story than meets the Ender eye? Wordplay aside, hi, I'm NapoleonVII, and this is going to be my deep dive into all that we know about the Deep Dark cave biomes, the ancient cities there within, and the brand new terrifically terrifying mob, the Warden. Real quick before we move on, I'm just going to ask you to double check to see if you're subscribed. I really appreciate it if you do. It's absolutely free, and you can always unsubscribe later if you really want. It really helps the channel grow and makes you a trendsetter, and that's pretty cool. Okay, business out of the way, let's hop into the video.
Minecraft Live, pushing the boundaries of what was thought to be possible.
First, let's establish what we know and look at the information we gained on the Deep Dark from Minecraft Live 2020 and 2021. Turning the clock back oh so long ago, we find ourselves at Minecraft Live 2020. Here, the community was blown away by the incredibly ambitious Caves and Cliffs update. While this update was later split into two different parts of 1.18 and 1.17 for its immense scope and global health problems, slowing down its creation process and Mojang trying to avoid crunch, it's still an update that will likely change how Minecraft is played and experienced forever. And one of the coolest and creepiest parts of this update shown off was the Warden, and more specifically the Deep Dark biome that it came from. I mean, just look at the introduction we got. As a new biome, the Deep Dark is eerie and unsettling, full of strange sounds of skulk and an abomination that's gonna lumber with heavy heartbeat thumping evermore. But a telltale heartbeat aside, this addition to Minecraft is incredibly impactful for both the gameplay perspective and for the lore of the game, which does exist and has been confirmed to exist by Mojang before you say that there isn't any lore for it to keep up with, but that's not really the topic of this video. I can get into that in a different video. But there's a whole new species of mob, which we now know is either a guardian or perhaps simply a remaining occupant of this long since forgotten abandoned cities. These cities feel like something out of a fantasy novel, made out of deep slate brick, filled with crackling soulfire, and overrun by the fungal-like skulk. We don't know a lot about these cities yet, other than what was shown off at Minecraft Live 2021, but all of this, the Deep Dark in its totality, is a major shift for Minecraft's world and its game design, a shift towards a more diverse and storied tale rather than the crumbs of lore usually left for the player. It's not intense enough to be a totally different game, but it's certainly a difference. But while I could go on and on about the lore that you can find in Minecraft, I mean, clearly I made a whole TikTok series about it, and you can see some of those uploaded to my YouTube. Haha, shameless self-plug. What is important in this video, though, is seeing the connections that this society has to the End Realm, or rather to the End Portal. I mean, looking at the End Portal specifically, we see that the frame is incredibly distinct. Its bluish greens are entirely singular in Minecraft, not found anywhere else in the Stronghold nor in the End itself. In fact, its color palette really clashes with the End's aesthetic of lavender purple purple blocks, or deep purple trees, or obsidian, or even just Enderman's eyes. While the base of a portal frame does still resemble Endstone, the iconography upon it and the Eye of Ender itself as well are really very different visually from anything in the End or in the overworld. It's a very singular color palette that we don't find a lot, or at least we didn't until now. What they're most similar to is the new Skull Catalyst block. It's not this one-for-one trade by any means, but the resemblance is still quite striking striking. The color palette is just so in tune that one could reasonably start to question if there's meant to be a relation between these blocks. What's more, looking at the top of the catalyst, the squiggly skulk seems to shine quite similarly to the inky black abyss of the end portal itself. Now here's where it gets interesting, and arguably where I go off the rails a bit, but I don't think my questions ought to be so easily dismissed, and I'll tell you why in a second. Firstly, I want to say it's very peculiar that the first time we see this color palette be used again since the end portal frame was added is with another new and mysterious abandoned civilization structure. Much like the Stronghold, these abandoned cities are one of the very few vestiges we actually find in Minecraft's sweeping landscape of past civilization, and not just more villages, but grand and elaborate and extravagant housing and fortifications. Both the Stronghold and these deep dark cities are defensible compounds buried deep within the rock of the world, and both share a color palette that's foreign within them and foreign to the rest of the world. One chief difference, however, is how much Skulk there is versus the singular room of portal frame that you can find in a Stronghold. Skulk is seemingly the cause of the end of all the cities in the Deep Dark, given that we know death needs to have occurred around it for it to spread, and it overruns the city streets, it's corrupting the walls, the homes, it's glooping and clopping, all gludgy, sludgy self skulking about in every nook and cranny. It's horrible, it's everywhere, you can't get away from the stuff, and so, you know, you can probably draw a conclusion that maybe that means it was involved in what caused the end of these cities, but its similar color palette does then beg questions of what happened in the Strongholds. Okay, you're not convinced, so similar color palettes and similar structures and locations, cool, not a smoking gun, I get it, but let's take a closer look at some of that footage from Minecraft Live. Do you see it? Here it is again. What if I brighten the image? If we look deep in the background, there's a fairly noticeable rectangular opening outlined that appears to be made of new undisclosed blocks of sorts, but I'm wagering it's not just any block. Call me insane, but I think, just maybe, that these cities will have a portal in them to somewheres new. Now, I know, it's crazy to even suggest, but here, just look. There's clearly some type of design to this outline, and in fact, it kind of resembles the chorus fruit trees in both its size and its look, but more importantly, is what KingBDogz himself said during Minecraft Live 2021, which real quick, if you don't know who KingBDogz is, he's best known for creating the Aether mod in Minecraft, currently works for Mojang, being hired on in 2019, and is the lead developer for the Deep Dark portion of the Wild update. Overall, he seems like a pretty cool guy, and you know, if you follow him over on Twitter, or, you know, are followed by him, like, you know, yours truly, oh god, he's gonna unfollow me if he ever sees this, basically, he really loves lore in Minecraft, or at least seems to. He talks about it a lot, but then again, he also shitposts a lot, so you know, it's a mixed bag. But during Minecraft Live, he said,
So, I mean, we really didn't want the Deep Dark Biome to just be, you know, caves or just skulks spread around. We wanted it to add a bit more mystery to it. And, you know, there's this ancient city, and what is it doing there? We're not going to tell the players, we're just going to let them go throughout and explore and see what they come to. And there's even this, like, ancient structure in the middle of every single city, and it's got something interesting about it that you're going to have to explore in-game.
This ancient structure being specified is actually really interesting. It's noted separately from the fact that the Deep Dark has specific loot, implying it's not just like a vault for that loot. It's specified as an ancient structure to be explored beyond the city, which is already an ancient structure to explore. And when we look at the concept art by Marina Salim, or at CookieCat_9 on Twitter, the official concept art for the Deep Dark shows off a seemingly loot area with storage bins of stone and a massive open-mouthed statue of some sort of creature. And it might be the Warden, but it doesn't exactly look like the Warden's design, and this concept art came way after the Warden had already been shown off at Minecraft Live 2020. Perhaps within the maw of that face lies the structure we're gonna explore though. Combine this with the fact that KingBDogz's most notable work is creating a mod that is another dimension in the Aether mod for Minecraft, and I find this to be a rather curious aspect that is shrouded in mystery. And I mean, this is pure speculation, but beyond his myriad of abilities as a coder and game designer and all these other things that are displayed in the Aether mod, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for Mojang to have maybe decided to bring him on as somebody who is an expert in making dungeons and in making other dimensions. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh my god, Napoleon, is this actually absolute triple confirmed evidence? Should I be calling the press, the foreign press? Should they know about this? No. I'm merely speculating here, based on what we know and can see. But I will say KingBDogz did follow me back on Twitter when my friend asked him about my theory. So you know, good as gold, take my word for it, it's 100% true, triple confirmed, go to everybody, tell everybody, NapoleonVII was right, he called it from the beginning. No, I'm kidding, I'm joking. He did follow me back, but you know, I really doubt it was because I'm right. That is a tad on the nose, but you never know. No, but regardless, KingBDogz is absolutely astounding. I really admire his work. artwork I think he really cares about, and it seems like a really special update that's coming to the game from this. But with all that in mind, what do you think? Do you think there's a portal? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think that this might be something more? Do you think the structure is going to be interesting? Are you just excited for this update? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!